All right. What's going on, everybody? Beats by Lonze. We are back in the building. I hope y'all can hear me good. I'm going to cut myself up pretty loud just in case. Just want to make sure that we're good. Yeah, so today we're going to be working on the Serato slab. All right, so today we're working on Serato slab, and y'all don't know about the Seerato slab. It is this nice little controller right here made by Alpha Theta and Seerato. And it's a nice little piece of equipment and kit. I want to say thank you, Stream Elements, for letting everybody know we're in the building. And if this is your first time, thank you for joining my stream. I am a producer and a DJ, engineer, do all kind of stuff. But today we're working on producing some music really quick. So typically what I like to do with when I'm making beats for the slab is I like to start out with a drum, with some drums. So here's our drums. And this drum kit, this is a drum kit that comes in the Seerato as a default. And I'll tell you that a lot of these drum kits sound pretty good, whether it's R&B, whether it's acoustic, hip hop, they sound good. So shout out to Seerato with the great sounds on their platform. And we're using Seerato Studio today, and yeah, so let's get to it. So this is what I got so far. All right, so what I was hoping that would happen is that when I muted my mic, that the rest of my sounds would still go through on the Rodecaster, but that is not happening right now. So we will have to work with our microphone going through. It's weird why it's not going through though. It should be. Let's make sure we're on. Yep, we're on main stereo. All right. So anyway, Kaleido K DJ, what's up? Cuz I see you. So I got this drum track on here that I just kicked in. So it's just really simple on the drum track. I got 3 elements, and then hi-hat right there. So that's what's there. All right, and then I got a sample that I just found. And so I was working on chopping up the sample, so let's get these samples chopped. All right, let's see what we got. Now I did cut this sample down a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna cut it back up a little bit. So. Now you see how the end of the sample, it comes in with that part. I don't want that, so I'm gonna try to chop before. I'm gonna have to make the next chop before that comes in. All right, so that's what I'm gonna try to do, and then we'll work on the hook from there. So let's check it out. All right, so what we'll do is those spaces in there, we'll fill those spaces when we come through with the next part. So whatever our instrument will be, we'll come in and fill those spots. So right now that's going to be our verse. So we're going to label that as verse, and we're going to copy it over, and then we're going to make this our hook. If I can spell today, H-O-O-K. All right, and then I'm going to go back into this sample, and I'm going to delete all the parts of this sample that I just put in there. Now let's see, select all, and let's see if I can cut it. All right, cool. Now on the hook, we're going to have another part of the sample. Yeah, right there. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is, I think on the hook, I'm gonna have some vocals. So let's go back to the verse real quick, and let's add an instrument. And then on the instrument, let's see what instrument we'll find. Let's see what our leads sound like, and then we'll come back. Yeah, we don't want that one. So we're gonna go past that. Let's see, we got a Game Boy lead. I don't like that either, so let's keep on going until we find a good lead that we like. And then what we can also do is, we don't have to just stick with the core custom sounds that's inside of Serato. You can actually pull in plugins. So that's another good thing. another instrument and we'll put in a bass. Let's do some head nod. Almost, but not quite. So let's see what the head explosion bass. That's some knock on there. Numa hip hop, what's going on? You can hook up an MPC to Serato. I'm sure you could. I know that Serato sample, you can pull it into the MPC software and use it because it's a VST. And then FBA Hustle NY says I use Logic Pro, didn't know that. But yeah, you can hook up Serato Studio as a plug-in into the MPC or in Logic and use it that way. And then again, the MPC is a MIDI controller, so as long as you got MIDI, you should be able to plug into Serato Studio. Because it does have MIDI implementation into it, so. Almost. Let me work it out. All right, let me cut the bass down a little bit and then see if that will work. If that'll work in. Now, it's supposed to play in key. That bass is supposed to be playing in key, but let's cut it back up so I can hear it a little bit. And another thing too is that the bass should be following the joint that I just did. So what I can do is go back to the guitar that I did and let's see if it will allow me to copy everything. So select all, see if we can copy it, and then we'll go to the bass and see if I can paste it and see if that works. And then I can take out some of the elements. It did do that. Now, what I can do is, let's see if I can select it all and drag it down to the lower octave. Select all. All right, let's see if I can select, oh, come on, no. All right, so let's delete that. All right. So we want a bass, but we want all right, so let's go back up to the top. Let's go back to the knock bass. Let's try that. All right, that may work. All right, so now let's go to plugins. And we want to do add instrument. All right, so let's go to arcade. output. Let's go find us some vocals. Arcade output. Now this is supposed to be, so we got my man Jaden Cash in the building. He says, if you don't know about Serato Studio, you out here blind. For sure, for sure. Man, you know what though? I just realized this morning, I was just going through some of the MPC forums, right? Just browsing, just to see what people talking about. And to be honest with you, man, there's a lot of people that is so far behind on everything. Like, there's people that's just finding out just now that the Key 61 has been discontinued. Key 61 has been discontinued for a couple months. And they're saying, oh, they're coming out with a new Key 61, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, y'all gotta follow the tea leaves. Like, understand that Akai know what they're doing. Trust me. The MPC-X, they had to have been working on this a year and a half. The Live 3, they had to have been working on it a year and a half, almost 2 years. And all the things that they put inside these machines, they already had planned that from 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, 3.5, 3.6, 3.7. They've been holding out what they've been doing. They've been slowly designing all that, putting it in the software and giving you a little bit at a time, so you don't see what's happening on the back end. So all this stuff that you're seeing now on the new MPCs, they've been doing that shit like a year ago. These people have been out here testing this stuff a year ago, and people are like, oh, well, you know, it's always a trend. If you pay attention to what's happening, when an old machine is going out, they discontinue it, then a new machine comes. Same thing when they were selling the MPC Live, right? The Live 1. They discontinued the Live 1, and then the Live 2 came. Same thing. So that's just the way that it happens. And they are a business, so they're gonna wanna sell to you a new product. So they ain't gonna keep selling the old shit and old shit and old shit and old shit. They gotta either make it come to today's specs, or they're gonna try to make it better than the last one that they made, and they wanna make money. So of course they're gonna make a new machine. Duh. So yeah, I'm just going through some of these forums. I will tell you that a lot of these people that are on Facebook, they're on Facebook all the time, all day long in these forums, and they don't do nothing else. They don't watch no YouTubes. They don't watch any other streams from Twitch or any other platforms, Kick. They don't know anything else is going in the world. They only know about Facebook. And so they're asking all these questions in the Facebook forums when you got ChatGPT, you got freaking Claude, you got Copilot, you got all this information out here where you can just ask a question. Hey, how do I power on my MPC? You just type it and it'll tell you, this is how you cut on your MPC. Which one do you have? So I can help you specifically on the machine that you're trying to cut on. Oh, I got the MPC Live 1. Oh, MPC Live 1, you got a button on the left-hand side. Press it. You got all these people on YouTube that's teaching you how you can use the MPC. Like, hey, I know you may have used it in 2000, but this is the way that it's working now. You can use it this way. Here's your options. You can also use song mode here. You can also use arranger mode here. You can use clip mode here. You don't have to use it, but everything is still there. Man, they will argue all day about the stupidest shit. But anyway, I was in one of the forums today, and I started to comment on it, and I was like, you know what? It ain't even worth my time to go in there and argue with people in these comments, because again, they are going to stay in their ways. They're going to stay stuck on Facebook, and 2 months from now, when we find out something that's going to happen today, 2 months from now, they'll still be coming on those forums and say, hey, did you realize that you can get such and such plug-in on the MPC? Like, yeah, y'all are late to the party. Late to the party. Jaden Cash says, I'm a DJ also, and that slab has been a talk of the town because of the rumor of the new MPC-1 MK2 competition. I mean, it is a controller, so that is as much of a competition that it's gonna be to MPC. And you know, Serato went through, I don't know if y'all know this, about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, Serato went through the same thing almost like Native Instruments is going through, right? Their company was up for sale, and they had people going in bidding and doing business trying to see who would take over for Serato. Some other companies were in talks to buy it. And so those companies, when they get picked up by other companies or, you know, or whatever they had in the tuck that they're working on, they have to, like, you know, reimagine it, re-envision it, go back to the research and development and figure out what's best in the market to compete with everybody. So Serato, you know, they gotta, well, Alpha Theta, they gotta compete with the market. So not only are they working with the market of the DJ side of the house, but they are just in music in general. So the slab falls in line with music in general. So all right, enough of that. Let's get back to these vocals. I want to find some vocals. All right, so so I should have had some vocals here, but I don't see any. I don't hear any. There we go. All right, let's go forward. Okay. I wish y'all can see my screen. You can't see my screen. Hold on, let's do that. Let's put it on the screen real quick. Sorry. Should have done that earlier. I didn't realize I didn't have it on the screen so y'all can see what I'm doing. All right, so I have Arcade up, and I'm going through some presets. You can't see the presets. All right, so I was looking for vocals. So let's go back out and search for vocals. I actually was looking for output, and I went in and brought in Arcade instead. So let's look for vocals. Let's see what things have vocals. So we Still Got Time. I think I used that before. And I'm low somewhere, so let's see if I can figure out how to go back high. There we go. Let's go on to the next one. Now, the thing that happens with Serato is that it's supposed to link your sound. So whatever your tempo is, it matches your tempo. Whatever your chord is, it's supposed to match your chord. All right, so let's cut this down a little bit so the vocals will drop in the mix a little bit. All right, so let's go back. We're in the verse. So let's go in and take out, let's take out something. All right. Not that. All right, so now in the hook, let's see. Tell you what, let's go back in this sample real quick, and let's make the sample really low, really delicate. Because there's a part in the sample that is really low right here, and so that will fit with vocals. Okay, I think that'll work. Let's try that. Now, I wish there was a way that I could, actually maybe I could. There is a part of the sample in the beginning that has just a little bit too much dip on the chip. So let's see if I could. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy that, and it's gonna be our breakdown, and I'm gonna drop the drums out. All right, so now let's go breakdown, go to our drums, and select all. 30 minutes, man. This has been the longest 30 minutes ever. I like to do hour streams though, so this actually works. And delete. Okay, now. I got an idea. I think let's see if I could at halfway mark here. Let's see if we can change up our drums here on the halfway mark. Let's delete. Let's drop them out. So 5 and 6. Bars 5 and 6. We'll take all the drums out, and then we'll play with some stuff. And then 8, we'll leave 7 in, and then we'll take out 8. All right, so let's listen to it now. Check 1 2 1 2. You should be able to hear me now. Yeah, I turned the fader down, and for some reason, everything that's, and I see it too, I'm looking at it, everything that's coming through my stream is only going through one channel right now, so I don't know what's going on. So Jay and Cash says that I love your studio. You got everything I would spend years just playing around on, from the SP to those rack mounts. Yes, so let me do something real quick. Like let me take this off the screen real quick, like, and let me show you some of the studio so you can see, y'all can see. What camera is upside down? Okay, I guess not. All right, so what I'll do is we'll go to this camera and I can pan. So yeah, my studio is always in a work of progress. a work in progress. So there we go. So now you can kind of see that way. So as I've showcased this many times, so on this side of the studio, I have an area where my drums is and the MPC-X Special Edition and the MKS Rec 1 on that side. What I was planning to do was have like another sitting view over there to run the studio on that side in case I wanted to work on those items over there. And then to my left, let's see if I can pan to the left a little bit more. Yeah, to the left I have a Kai Force Push 3. I got the MPC Ren, Ableton Move, a whole bunch of KO2 control machines on that side. All my DJ equipment is on the furthest of the right, which you probably can't see. But I got my DJ equipment over there, and the MV is in the corner. And then behind me, I have the MPC 4000, and then all the rack systems. Well, 3 rack systems: 5000, the 3000, and the S2000. And then on the right of me, so behind me, I got all my machine stuff that's on the shelf. On the shelf back here, I got machine studio, 2 machine studios, the Jam. Then I have up here in front, where the Rodecaster is, I have the MK2, the Machine Plus. Here on this side, I got the Key 37 and the Key 61 and the Astrolab. And then on the left over here, well, actually on the far right, let's see if I can move that light out the way. On the far right, I have the 1000, the 2500, the 5000, the MPC-1, and the MPC Live 1. And then inside the house, I got the Live 3 and the Live 2. I got it in the house. So. And then the Roland Verse Lab is next to the Presonus 32SC, which is below the light, which is over there in that corner. So that is the way the studio is designed now. And I'm actually going to redo the studio again. So what it looks like right now is not what it's gonna look like probably next year this time. So, but anyway, thank y'all for watching the freaking show of my studio. And let's get back to this beat. Let's finish it up. Jayton Cash says, I learned MPCs from the 4000. My cousin taught me with it. I've been an MPC head since. That's what's up. Yeah, I got into the game late. Actually, I can cut it down. So I got into the game late. I started making music in 2000, 2001 on FL on a computer. So I did everything on the computer with MIDI keyboard, and then kept going. Then I went to Reason. I went from FL Studio with Reason. Then I went from Reason with Cakewalk, and then the first machine I got was Native Instruments, the studio, the Machine Studios, the first hardware that I got, and then I got all of the machine joints. And then I saw Knox Squared working with the machine and the MPC, and I was like, okay, it's time for me to check out the MPC. So I got the MPC, and I've been hooked on MPCs ever since. Now I did say in a previous stream there's 2 MPCs that I don't have. It's actually 3 machines that I don't have. The MPC 60, the MPC 3000, and the MPC 500. Those are the three that I don't have. I used to have a MPC 2000 XL, but I sold it. I got rid of it because I thought it was too slow. And I got it too at a really good price, like $300 some when I bought it. Sold it for like about the same price, $350, $400. And now I'm looking at them and I'm like, man, I want another one, but I still know that it's still too slow for me. Now I'm in the space that if it can't work as fast as the XL or the X or a Live 2 or a Live 3, I don't want it. So I'm not gonna sit down and take all day to make beats. So, but anyway, let's get back to it. So we got an intro, we got a verse, we got a hook, and we got a breakdown. So what we need now is an intro. So let's work on the intro. So let's listen to it. I already hear my intro right there already. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy that verse and we're gonna make that our intro. And then what we'll do is we'll take out all the drums. So let's select all and let's delete everything out. All right. All right, so that's gonna be our intro. So let's add our break, not our break and our outro, but let's add our beat tag into it. So let's find our beat tag. So we're gonna add, actually, we don't have to do that. We can bring it down to the bottom. Add audio, and it's gonna be on my desktop because I got it on the desktop just for that. All right, so okay, so now we have our intro, we have our verse, and let's actually share that so y'all can see. All right, so we got our intro, we got our verse. All right, and then we got our verse again. That'll make 16 bars. And this is how I set up all of my songs. And then we got our hook. And then what we'll do is, after the hook, we'll have the breakdown. And then we'll have the hook 2 more times. All right, so we got our hook, and we'll have our hook 2 times. All right, so let's go back to the beginning and let's listen to it. All right, so now let's make sure that that is right. All right, so that is syncing, so we don't want that to sync. All right, back to scenes. Now let's start over again. Now that verse is missing, the verse is missing the drums, missing the clap. So let's fix that. Greetings, my Logify. Appreciate you being in the building. All right, now let's listen to it. There we go. I actually hit the effects button on the touch strip. That is another thing that I also do too on the MPC X. I always have my hand over here to the left, and I always rub that freaking touch strip. And whatever effects is on that touch strip, I always rub it for some reason. Same thing with the slab. I always, by some chance, rub the touch strip, and it affects a lot of stuff. So, all right, so check it out. So we got our intro, our verse again, our hook. And actually, if y'all can see on the screen, I got some space right there, which is the craziest thing I've seen. Oh, I see what happened. Okay. I see what happened. Got you. All right, so we got our intro, our verse 2 times for 16 bars, our hook for 8 bars. Now, actually, normally what I would do is on the hook, I'd bring the hook in twice, but I got a breakdown in this, and then I got the hook in again. And the reason I do this is that instead of just making a song completely all the way out, sometimes you may get an artist that they're only going to listen to the verse and the hook anyway. So if it's just going to, come back in and maneuver in and out like that, it's a waste of time to go through and build it all out when they're just going to listen to the first few minutes of it anyway. So if somebody like it or whatever and they want to use it, then I'll go in and build it all the way out specifically. But at this point, I have the majority of the song built, so it's very easy to come back in and fix it if I have to. Or the person that is engineering can actually take the stems and build the rest out themselves if they want to. But typically, this is enough. All right, so let's kick it. And that is the beat, y'all. We made that in 50 minutes. So we got 10 more minutes to go. I like to do my streams for an hour, and just so that we can get those hours. So make sure y'all go back and watch the playbacks. I know there's a lot. There's a lot of lives. There's 3 years worth of lives that's on my YouTube page. So, hey, I'm sorry. Thank you. Masada MPC is in the building. I appreciate it. He says, I like that beat. Jaden Cash says, this goes hard. I appreciate it. But yeah, make sure y'all like the old lives. Make sure y'all like and comment on the videos. And if there's anything specific that you want to see on the page, let me know. I got to get back to my seasons because I got so many shows that I'm supposed to be doing through the week, and I've been off my game as far as staying on track with the seasons. So we'll get back to our weekly schedule of how we work because, as you can see, we got a couple more new machines that we added into the mix. So we'll have to add that into the regular show. But yeah, man, if y'all hadn't tried the Serato Slab for $329, it is an incredible controller. I like it. I like it because when I get into a rut where I can't make beats on the MPC or I'm not making the kind of beats I want to make with the MPC, I can just jump on the Serato Slab and it's always going to come out how I want it. And so I enjoy it. So that's another reason that I have so many different machines, because sometimes I get bored and sometimes my ADHD start bothering with me, and I just be all over the place sometimes. So yeah, shout out to Masada. Y'all hadn't got some of your expansions, go to thecyclekit.com and get you some expansions. And a lot of my streams, most times I'm chopping up one of Masada's special soul samples. Today I actually used something different, but yeah, y'all check that out. And what else? Y'all give me some questions, man. What y'all think? What y'all think about the new MPC XL? What y'all think about the Live 3? What some other options that Akai should come up with? How can Roland at this point compete with what the MPC Akai just dropped with the new MPC? I did go to NAMM and play with the TR-1000, and it ain't this. I can tell you that. It ain't an MPC XL. It ain't even an MPC X. So I can tell you that. So, but anyway, I'm biased. I'm biased anyway. And then I will tell y'all too that I've been working on. Yeah, I'm gonna blab for the next 6 minutes. I've been working on the Push 3 the last couple of weeks. I just been going in and trying to see if I can work my pacing out a little bit better with the Push 3. And what I found is I was trying to do too much at all. I was trying to work it like I work the MPC, and it don't work that way. It's a little bit different. And so I found that I needed to scrub my idea of working with it down a little bit. And I think that it works a little bit better once I did that. So yeah, I'm gonna get my $3,000 worth out of that damn Push 3. I am. So what else I got to tell y'all? Something I needed to tell y'all about. Oh yeah, the expansion. I have a couple expansions out. I have the Budget Essentials expansion. And what that is an expansion that is budget friendly for y'all who don't want to spend a lot of money on expansions. And what I did with this expansion is I took all the sounds that I had in my, not all of them, but I took a lot of the sounds that I use normally from day to day, that I use on the MPCs, on the S2400. I ran them all through the S2400, right? So we got 12-bit and 16-bit sounds coming from the S2400. And then I took those sounds and I bounced them and I ran them through the MKS Rec 1, which is SP1200, which is 12-bit. And then I took those sounds and then I ran them through the MPC XL. That's on the other expansion. That's the one that's above the budget expansion. So I ran them through all three machines, put that expansion. That expansion is coming out. I got one more thing I want to add to that expansion before I put it out. But the budget expansion is all from out of an MPC into the S2400 out of the S2400 into the MKS Rec 1. That is what's on the budget expansion. So y'all check that out. And then beatsbylonze.com. I have all my merch on beatsbylonze.com. Also have my podcast, which is the Grind 329 podcast by Lonze, out there on the website. And on my website, I have a brand new expansion for new producers. If you just need sounds, you just need some kicks, some snares, some hats, whatever, I got that. You can download that free just to get you started. And it's in MPC. It's in an MPC format. So thank you to Masada MPC for hacking the repository for the freaking expansion. That allowed us to get out here and make expansions for y'all and make expansions for ourselves and expansions for our NPCs. So shout out and salute to him. Shout out to him on the Lazy Chop, man, because I was just thinking this morning, 3 more minutes. I'm gonna blab for 3 more minutes. I was just thinking this morning, like, when I'm trying to teach people how to use the MPC the way that I use it, when I was first learning how to use it, I saw people using the method where you had a long sample and they copied a long sample to 8 pads. And then they take that long sample and then they take the long sample and then they chop just an itty bitty piece of it, and then they'll go to pad 2 and they'll take that long, and then they'll find another sample. Then they take that long one and they'll bring it down and bring it to another piece. And then they listen to it by ear and they chop their samples that way. And there's nothing wrong with that method. That's just another method of chopping. But the way that the Lazy Chop is designed so perfectly that now you can just chop through every single pad and put it right on the grid where you need it. And that makes it so easy. And the great thing about it is that is available on mostly every hardware that you will find. If you go to Machine, you'll find Lazy Chop in there. If you go to the Ableton Move, you'll find a Lazy Chop in there. You go to the Ableton Push 3, you'll find Lazy Chop in there. You go to any MPC that's a new generation, you'll find Lazy Chop there. So it is available in every machine. So shout out to Masada for creating that out of his brain. Y'all ain't military. I was about to say brain housing group. But coming from him creating that out of his brain to bring that to fruition, that's outstanding. So shout out to him for that. Do you like Redrum Drum Machine? I love it. I have never used Kong Drummer on Reason though yet. Redrum Drum Machine. Is that the chopping? Is that like the sampler that's on Reason? That's what you're talking about, right? The Redrum. I think the way that it runs, if I'm thinking of the same one, that it also has the 16 step sequencer on it as well. You can press the button and then you can actually put the yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah, it's all right. It's cool. It's all right. But it's been so long since I've been in Reason. Shout out to This World Needs a Hero. He actually pulled up Reason this morning on his live, and he was using it on Ableton. And so he was working with the sounds of Reason in Ableton. So shout out to him. So Jaden Cash says, I did some crazy yesterday. I ran a drum CD on my throwback Sony 5 disc into my old Yamaha amp into my MPC-1, and the crunch is crazy. Yeah, people sleep on the MPC-1, but the MPC-1 does sound good. It's the only MPC that I bought 3 times. I bought the MPC-1 3 times. Actually, I take that back. It's not the only one that I bought 3 times. I bought the live one 3 times, and I bought the live the MPC-1 3 times. But the differences and the reasons why I bought the live one 3 times is different from the reasons that I bought the MPC-1 3 times. I didn't originally like the MPC-1 when I first got it. And I was like, okay, this is just, I had too many MPCs. And so I was like, no, this is just redundant. Why do I have it? And then after I sold it and I got all the rest of the MPCs, I was like, you know what? I should have gave it a better chance than I did. And so I bought another one. And then the other one that I bought, I gave it away. I gave it away to somebody so that they could experience having one of the new MPCs. And then the live one, my original one, I traded it in for the MPC 5000. I traded it for an MPC 5000 with a dude. And then the second one I bought, I gave it away to a homie. And then I bought another one and I kept it. So I was gonna say something about that too. Drum CD on throwback Sony disc. I have all my old CDs and DVDs from the 2000s when I used to burn samples on CDs and DVDs. And the good thing about the 4000 having a CD drive on it, a disc drive, is that you can read all your CDs on them. So all the old samples that I had on CDs and DVDs, I can pull them on the 4000 and I can sample them out of there as well. So, but this, another thing that I did too, a lot of the samples that I had on CDs and DVDs, I actually, long time ago, I took them off of the CDs and put them on hard drives. And so now I have all these samples on a hard drive that I use at all times. All right, we have made it to our hour again. Thank y'all for watching the stream. I appreciate you. I need to get off the stream so I can do some stuff in the studio and get to my regular work. So I appreciate you. Much love to you again. You can find me on all social media at Beats by Lonze. Again, I have all my music on bandcamp.com. So if you want to support me, you can go to bandcamp.com, check out my albums, my beat tapes, my R&B albums, my rap albums. I'm not a rapper, not a singer, but I like to do music, so it's there. And if you just want to stream it, you can find a lot of my music on Spotify and Apple. Even though I don't suggest it, but there's just people that's not gonna buy anything, they just wanna listen. So it's there on Spotify and Apple, and there's just a few of them there. And I think that is it. So my Logic 5 says, things can get lost in time. He says it's nice to back things up. That is absolutely correct. Jayton Cash says, I learned that on the 4K also. I still got about 30 CDs stashed. Yeah, I keep all my CDs. I never get rid of them. I hoard stuff like that. I got everything that I probably started with 20 years ago, 25 years ago. I've still got it, so. But again, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for joining. Thank you for your comments. And I think we are out of here. Make sure you follow, like, and subscribe. See ya.
Welcome to the Beats by Lonze show. Welcome to the Beats by Lonze show. Welcome to the Beats by Lonze show. Welcome to the